A single book, a devastating rebellion, and a song that would go on to define an entire nation. So today, we're going to dive right into the heart of Anandmath.
Our story really begins with this man, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. He was writing in the late 19th century, and he saw a Bengal that was really grappling with massive change, trying to figure out its place, its memory, its identity, all under the growing influence of the British.
But you have to understand, this wasn't just any novel. When it was published back in 1882, Anandmath did something, well, pretty incredible. It gave a nation that didn't even technically exist yet, the one song that would become its most powerful, most emotionally rallying cry for freedom.
So, where does the story actually take place? Well, the book throws us back in time to the Bengali year 1176. That's about 1770 on our calendar. And it is a time of just an absolute, unimaginable crisis. The people of Bengal were caught in this brutal vice grip. On one side, you have a horrifying famine. Crops had already failed 2 years earlier, and now a failed monsoon meant there was literally no hope left. On the other side, a crushing and completely indifferent rule. You see, the English company was there for one thing: collecting taxes. Meanwhile, the Nawab was supposedly responsible for the people. But get this, in the middle of mass starvation, the tax collector, Mohammad Raza Khan, actually raised taxes by 10%. It was just the perfect storm of natural disaster and human greed.
And you know, the toll this took, it's almost impossible to imagine. This wasn't just about hardship, it was the complete and utter breakdown of society itself.
And look, this slide, it just lays out the horrifying, systematic way everything people held dear was stripped away. First, they sold their property, their animals, their homes. When that was gone, they sold their children. First their daughters, then their sons. And then, in a final act of absolute desperation, they sold their wives. But the final horror was this: soon, there was no one left to even buy them.
The novel does not look away from the horror. I mean, it paints a raw, visceral picture. This wasn't just hunger anymore. This was a descent into a primal fight for survival where the very definition of humanity just started to blur.
Now, right in the center of this huge, sweeping tragedy, the story zooms in on one family. So let's meet our main characters, Mahendra and Kalyani. Their personal journey becomes the real heart of this epic struggle.
So they realize they can't survive where they are, right? They feel like they have no choice but to run. And their preparations, man, they tell you everything you need to know about the world they live in. Mahendra, he grabs a gun, thinking about bandits. But Kalyani, she secretly takes a vial of poison. That tells you what she's afraid of.
They find this ghost town, a village completely emptied out by the famine. Mahendra leaves his wife and their baby for what he thinks will be just a moment. He's desperate to find some milk for their starving child. And when he gets back, they're gone. Just vanished.
And what happens to them next? It's like a snapshot of the two huge horrors of this time. Their fates are separate, but equally terrible. Kalyani and her child are abducted by a gang of starving men, people who have been driven to cannibalism by the famine. At the very same time, Mahendra is mistaken for a bandit, brutally beaten by company soldiers and tied to a treasury cart like a common criminal.
But just as all hope seems completely lost, something new, a new power, starts to rise from the ashes of this devastated land. These are the sannyasis. Think ascetic warriors, monks who have become rebels.
So there's Kalyani, deep in the forest, and just when you think the absolute worst is about to happen, she's saved. A mysterious brahmachari, an ascetic, just appears. He rescues her and her child and takes them to a hidden monastery, a safe haven right in the heart of all this chaos, telling her, "Daughter, this is a temple of the gods. Do not be afraid."
Okay, so at this exact same time, the rebels are setting a trap for the treasury cart that Mahendra is tied to, and their plan is brilliant. First, the bait. A sannyasi just stands there, lets himself get captured. Then, the signal. Once he's close enough to the convoy's leader, he pulls a hidden pistol and takes him out. And that's when the attack begins. 200 rebels just pour out of the woods, screaming their war cry, "Hari! Hari! Hari!"
And right in the middle of all this chaos, something amazing happens. A figure stands up on the cart where the prisoners are. It's Mahendra, and somehow his ropes have been broken.
The fight is over almost as soon as it begins. The rebel leader, Bhavanand, leaps onto the cart, grabs the English captain's own sword, and with one clean stroke, beheads him. Just like that, the company's command is shattered and the battle is won.
With the captain down, Bhavananand yells this raw, powerful command to his fighters. Maro sipahiyon ko maro. It's a cry of pure, unfiltered rebellion. Kill the soldiers. Kill them.
But you see, this rebellion is about so much more than just ambushing treasury cards. This whole thing is fueled by something bigger, a really powerful idea that gives their fight a whole deeper meaning. So after the fight, Mahendra's free, right? But he confronts Bhavananand. To him, these guys are just bandits, thieves, stealing government money. He doesn't get it. But then, as they're walking through the moonlit forest, Bhavananand begins to sing a song that changes everything. He sings Vande Mataram, Sujalam Supalam Malaya Jashitalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram. And Mahendra is just stunned. He's thinking, what are you singing about? A land of cool waters and bountiful crops? Look around, we're in a famine. So he asks him, who is this mother you're singing to?
And right here, this is the heart of the whole book. Vande Mataram means I bow to the mother. The song isn't about a person, it's an ode to the motherland itself, imagined as a divine goddess. So you see, for these rebels, they aren't fighting for treasure, they're fighting for their mother. So now Mahendra's free. Bhavananand tells him, hey, your wife and child are safe, you can go to them. But this freedom puts him at this massive crossroads. Does he go back to his personal life, try to piece his family back together from the ashes? Or does he join this new radical cause, this fight for the motherland?
And that's the big question the novel really leaves us with. It's a question that echoed through India's struggle for independence. And you know what? It still resonates today. When the law itself becomes the thing that's crushing you, does fighting back stop being a crime and actually become your duty?